Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. I'm Ekandayo, and man, I am absolutely hyped to get into today's material with you all. Look, if you're a fan of anime, manga, or Shanxia web novels, you already know the drill, right? Our hero dies, transmigrates to a magical world, and boom, instantly becomes some overpowered god. But what happens when that system glitches? Like, horribly. Today we are breaking down what has to be the most insane, high-stakes, zero-to-hero progression system in cultivation history. We're going to look at the exact mechanics, the shameless strategies, and the wild plot twists that take a protagonist from literally being a doomed bug to an unstoppable spirit beast. Let's get right into it.
So, let's dive into this hilarious subversion of the typical isekai reincarnation tropes. Normally, you expect to wake up to a system prompt and find out you're an unstoppable dragon-blooded protagonist, or, honestly, at the bare minimum, a human. But the harsh reality here? Our protagonist transmigrates into a fantasy world and wakes up as a moth. And I'm not talking about some majestic, magical, immortal moth. Nope, just a useless pest. And the real kicker? He gets slapped with a countdown timer. His total lifespan is exactly 3 minutes. 3 minutes! It's such a brilliant hook for us anime fans because it instantly rips away that genre safety net we are so used to having.
Section 1. The 3-minute lifespan crisis.
Okay, so our protagonist literally has 180 seconds to live. He absolutely does not have years to sit in a cave and meditate. And to really grasp how desperate this situation is, we gotta talk about his human contractor, Yuna. She's the senior sister of the Ching-chan sect, and she's actually living out her own regression trope. In her past life, her master betrayed her and threw her into a demonic beast abyss to be tortured to death. So to avoid that nightmare this time around, she burns through every single drop of her essence blood to summon a sacred great ice phoenix. But right as this majestic bird is about to materialize, it shatters into pieces, and out flutters our 3-minute moth protagonist. It's just tragic cosmic irony. Her master immediately uses this so-called trash spirit beast as an excuse to kick Yuna out of the inner sect, demoting her to an outer sect chore disciple.
Obviously, Yuna absolutely hates him, and his clock is aggressively ticking down to 0. So what is his survival strategy? Well, it's absolute shameless deception. He knows Yuna sees him as a gross, useless pest, right? So he secretly shapeshifts into an adorable white fox. And you know what? It works flawlessly. Yuna sees this cute, fluffy little fox and instantly softens up, giving him permission to drain her energy basically whenever he wants. It's a brilliant, if, slightly manipulative workaround. It really highlights his sheer adaptability. He isn't relying on raw power. He's using a tactical, social exploit just to literally stay alive past that initial timer.
Moving on to Section 2, the symbiotic siphoning system explained.
Now, this is where the mechanics of our explainer get super fascinating, because this stops being a tragic bug story and turns into a genius, overpowered leveling mechanic. It's all about this double return talent, which creates a mutually beneficial feedback loop between the host and the beast. First, the moth siphons Yuna's energy completely dry, which instantly maxes out his evolution gauge. But step 3 is the real game changer. The double return talent triggers, and he pushes a massive, warm rush of doubled spiritual energy right back into Yuna. They just repeat this cycle round after round. The result? Yuna instantly breaks through to the foundation establishment stage. I love this because it completely flips the whole parasitic beast trope on its head. It's actually a perfect symbiotic partnership.
Let's look at how the timeline plays out here. At 0 minutes, transmigration happens. He was supposed to drop dead at exactly the 3-minute mark. But by aggressively launching himself onto Yuna and siphoning her energy, his lifespan shoots up from a measly 3 minutes to 6 full hours. To put that in perspective, that is a massive leap. It proves exactly why this hyper-aggressive energy absorption strategy isn't just him being greedy, it is absolutely vital for his moment-to-moment survival. Literally every single second is earned.
And thanks to that full evolution gauge from his loop with Yuna, he unlocks his first major form, the soul-devouring moth. This is a high-grade spirit beast evolution, and guys, its core ability is staggering. He's no longer limited to just Yuna's essence. No, he can now siphon spiritual energy from literally any treasure. Anything. This completely breaks the power scaling of this world and perfectly sets the stage for some major combat.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, Tiny Bug, Massive Power.
So, right after he evolves, trouble comes knocking. 3 intersect disciples show up at Yuna's door, aggressively demanding she clear out and hand over all her treasures, and they release their own contracted beasts to teach her a lesson. Now keep Yuna's mindset in focus here. Just hours ago, she was crying out, "What is this thing? Where did my ice phoenix go?" She is in total shock and disbelief. She's been demoted, bullied, and cornered, and her only defense against 3 mid-grade spirit beasts is her seemingly useless, tiny contracted bug.
But little did those bullies know, our protagonist had been waiting for exactly this moment. He swallowed all 3 mid-grade beasts whole, instantly, like he left absolutely nothing behind, not even dust. The sheer comedic and awesome juxtaposition here is just incredible. You have this tiny, unassuming insect instantly deleting these huge, aggressive monsters, filling up his evolution gauge right in the middle of battle. Even Yuna couldn't believe her little bug could hit that hard. Get this, the bully's bloodlines actually took damage just from the sheer shock of it. This is peak high-stakes adventure combat resolved in a fraction of a second by a gluttonous little moth.
All right, Section 4, The Secret Realm, Demon.
Things escalate massively when the Outer Sect Elder calls everyone together to announce a newly opened secret realm for training. Yeah, right. This is a massive setup. The Outer Sect's actual plan is totally ruthless. The secret realm is basically hell. There are barely any spirit beasts in there, and worse, there's an ancient demon sealed deep inside. It's quite literally a cruel trick meant to cull the weak disciples. But our protagonist makes a stunning discovery. His system pings him. That ancient sealed entity deep in the realm, it shares his exact bloodline origin. It's literally one of his ancestors. So the sect's cruel death trap totally backfires and accidentally hands the Moth the keys to uncovering his own ancient, overpowered lineage.
Here's Section 5, Silver to Gold Evolution. Knowing exactly what's waiting in the realm, he tells Yuna to offer up her life source, essence blood, so he can just go completely wild. And oh boy, he does. 10,000. Once he gets that pure essence from the female lead, he clears out every single spirit beast in the outer area of the realm. He absorbs 10,000 core energies in just 1 single hour. The sheer absurdity of this consumption rate is completely off the charts. So he absorbs these 10,000 cores, and that instantly triggers a massive system level-up notification. He completely leaps over the traditional power scaling hurdles, going straight from a silver to a gold beast rank in the blink of an eye. But you want to know the hilarious reality of all this? Despite possessing this god-tier, gold-rank power that defies all the logic of the cultivation world, he is still, physically, just a bug. It's kind of an unfortunate but honestly brilliant twist on his evolution path.
Finally, Section 6, Subverting Typical Cultivation Tropes.
So, why does this specific story arc work so perfectly? Why is it so satisfying for us to read and analyze? Well, typically, cultivation requires years, sometimes centuries, of solitary meditation. It involves selfish power hoarding, backstabbing, and just a painfully slow grind. But the Moth's Devour system? It's all about instant siphoning. It's this incredibly fast-paced, symbiotic double return loop for both the user and the beast. By forcing our protagonist to start with a 3-minute lifespan, the narrative completely shatters those standard, boring, grinding tropes. It forces a dynamic, high-octane progression system where survival depends entirely on mutual trust and rapid, aggressive consumption. But hey, remember that ancient ancestor we talked about earlier? Right after our protagonist cleared out those 10,000 spirit beasts, the seal on the abyss deep inside the secret realm completely broke open. So I'm going to leave you with this question. With the abyss seal completely shattered, what ancient bug terror is about to crawl out next? Is it an ally? Or is our gold-ranked Moth about to face his absolute worst nightmare? You are for sure not going to want to miss what happens next. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I'm Ekundayo. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll see you next time.